Plastic. We just can't seem to escape it.
That's a complete waste. Complete waste. Shame on that company. This is the kind of thing that ends up in the ocean and birds end up choking on. Totally not necessary.
Just 11% of it ever gets recycled in Canada.
Not recyclable. Not recyclable. Not recyclable. End of story.
Environmental journalist Adria Vassal is helping us rate some of the worst examples.
This one drives me crazy. It's as though we could not eat if plastic didn't exist, and that is not the truth.
I really think that large corporations should at least try to consider the environment before packaging things like this.
We ask you to send us your examples of pointless plastic. We take some of the worst and in a poll ask 1,500 Canadians to rate them.
These are all individually packaged in a product that most municipalities and cities do not take.
90% of you say you're concerned or very concerned about plastic pollution. So we're counting down, calling out some of your worst offenders. And we're in Ottawa to ask what a government that talks about reducing plastic is actually willing to do about it. We, as part of this story, wanted to take a look at some of the examples that were out there. Do you mind if I just show you some of the things that we found?
Sure.
We'll challenge Federal Environment Minister Catherine McKenna about these bad examples you sent in.
I'm Elizabeth Jackson from Cochrane, Alberta, and I'm nominating Kinder Bueno.
Coming in at number 5 on our poll, this super wrapped Kinder chocolate.
I brought it home and it's layered 3 times in plastic, so not gonna buy this again.
Perfect example of a company that loves its overpackaging, that is killing the plastic thing and not in a good way.
So why would a company do this?
Clearly, they're off their game if they think that consumers need this much packaging.
48% of Canadians agree with Elizabeth that Kinder Bueno is one of the worst examples.
So our viewers sent this in. It's a chocolate bar, but it's wrapped in plastic.
Yeah. With plastic, more plastic.
With more plastic, and then inside.
No, tell me it's not. No, tell me
yeah,
no.
Yeah, more plastic.
Okay. Well, you know, I think we need to do a lot better. We need producers to take on more responsibility, and there are companies that are really acting.
But is Ferrero, maker of Kinder Bueno, acting? They tell us they wrap each bar individually to divide them into suitable portion sizes. Elizabeth isn't sold.
My message to the company is you need to rethink your packaging for your product, and I will not be buying this again. This is so unnecessary.
Up next, and tied at number 5, you sent us a lot of photos finding no relief with legal weed. So we log on, order some of the same brands.
All right, Adria, this is, I think, our legal weed.
Now legal. We can't open this without being arrested. That's a good thing.
Yep. Okay, let's check it out. Ready, set, open. Here we go. Jeez.
Why so much clamshell packaging? That for so little, that seems like
That's a lot of plastic.
Just for a few buds, we are seeing this much plastic? My God.
A lot of plastic.
That's kind of shameful, actually. Oh, no,
Just straight plastic container.
This I do not like. These pouches are 100% not recyclable. I'm pretty disappointed overall.
The Ontario Cannabis Store tells us packages have to be tamper-proof and child-resistant. But does that explain why there's so much packaging for so little product?
They could have designed this from the ground up to be green, to be compatible with the province's recycling systems, and instead they just completely fell asleep at the switch. I mean, obviously they were smoking maybe a little bit too much of the stuff. I'm just saying.
My name is Daniela Recchia from Orangeville, and this is my nomination for the most overpackaged product.
Up next, at number 4, these double-wrap paper towels.
This drives me crazy about Bounty. Why is there so much plastic inside the plastic bag?
Paper towel wrapped in plastic, wrapped in more plastic, then wrapped in even more plastic to ship it.
My brain is just melting down right now. Yeah, that's completely unnecessary.
49% of you felt the same, helping Bounty pick up a thumbs down. Procter & Gamble, maker of Bounty, say they want to reduce plastic, but not on this product, as small businesses may want to resell the rolls individually. What does Daniela think of that?
I think this is absolutely crazy that they're using this much plastic, and something needs to change.
8 million tons of plastic go into the
While others are slow to act, these kids are pushing for change.
When we watched the CBC Marketplace episode about plastic and what it's doing to the environment, we decided to take action.
We're at R.L. Graham Public School in Keswick, Ontario. The students have got a message for wasteful companies.
What can companies do differently?
Stop using plastic!
Time to see what they think of item number 3 on our list. Our Marketplace viewer sent us these photos of plastic wrap, plastic straws, and forks from Subway. How are you? I'm gonna take these out. You think it's bad? Why do you think it's bad?
Nature can't digest it. It's single-use plastic wrapped in single-use plastic.
Does that seem weird to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
56% of Canadians think these Subway straws and forks are one of the worst.
I would tell them to stop using plastic because it's not good for the environment.
Subway tells us plastic overwrap protects their products. And by the end of this year, we'll transition to paper straws. But no mention of changing those plastic wrap forks. So we asked the minister what she thinks. There's a plastic fork wrapped in plastic and a plastic straw wrapped in plastic. This comes from Subway, but you do see this at other fast food restaurants all over the place,
But
right?
you know what? I think that because of consumers, that changing, what they want to see less plastics. But I think that we need to create the right incentives. And right now, it can be quite easy to just make everything disposable, treat our oceans, our land like garbage cans.
Why not just come out and say, we're done with these?
We are looking at that, and this is part of our strategies.
Speaking of strategy, we've got another mission for these students.
So we are looking for the worst packaging in this school. We need your help to go and test this one out. So we need you to go to the blue bins in all the rooms in this entire school. Are you ready?
Yes,
On your marks, get set, go.
We'll check back later. Meantime, it's on to number 2 on our list.
Many of you sent us pictures of plastic wrap produce, and one that came from Walmart, nominated by Barb Tessier of Cornwall, Ontario, is a single plastic wrap pepper.
What bothers me is what's on the label. This product packaged to increase freshness and help reduce food waste. A few days and the short time of freshness we get, worth the time that this is going to spend in our landfills.
62% of you think this is one of the worst.
To have multiple peppers grouped together, that's one thing I don't like. But to have one single piece of produce wrapped in plastic, completely unnecessary.
Walmart agrees plastic is a big problem, but disagrees there's a problem here. They say the plastic keeps the peppers fresher and reduces food waste. But in our poll, 75% of you tell us you'd accept less shelf life for less packaging.
This is exactly awesome. Thank you for shopping.
And less packaging is exactly why people are shopping at this store in Toronto.
Most of the customers who are coming here are coming because they really believe that they can make a difference.
Unboxed has produce, a butcher, household products, bulk goods, even a hot table without plastic packaging. Although our polling shows most Canadians care about reducing plastic, only 39% of you say you have plastic-free options in your neighborhood.
It's a really big concern. There are a lot of locations in the country that don't have environmentally conscious stores, zero waste, low waste, whatever you want to call them. For those people, I would say look to your farmers markets, go to your stores, ask the questions.
Before we get to number 1 on our countdown, these kids pick through the trash to find their school's worst offender.
What is the worst one for you here?
I feel like it's the lunch kits because they're a number 7 plastic, and number 7 plastics only sometimes get recycled. So most of them just end up going into landfills anyway.
Lunchmates are produced by Maple Leaf Foods, and these kids have got a message for them.
I don't like this. I won't buy these anymore because this is plastic. I don't like plastic. I would say stop making these. They're not good for the environment.
I think that they should stop making these plastic stuff.
Maple Leaf says they care about the environment, so they're going to remove the recyclable cardboard on Lunchmates. But here's the thing, they're keeping the difficult to recycle plastic.
You can tell your mom and dad to stop buying these.
And they can just make it themselves and put it into a reusable container and take it to school.
Time to wrap up our list. Here's number 1.
I'm Jennifer Lambert in Ottawa, Ontario, and I'm nominating this example of overpackaging because apples are one thing you usually can purchase without any plastic at all. And in this case, there seems to be almost as much plastic as there is apple.
We couldn't find that exact product in Canadian stores right now, but we found something really similar, Adria. Our colleagues in Vancouver sent us this. Are you ready? I think you're gonna find it pretty egregious.
I'm not looking forward to it.
Here we go. It's the clamshell apples.
Oh no. Oh my goodness. That's just awful. Why is this in any way necessary whatsoever?
A huge 78% of you thought packaging like this was the worst, meaning it's our winner. Or should that be loser?
Give us an alternative, please, if you want us to purchase the product.
We reach out to Grapel and ask them about their packaging, but they don't want to comment. So, with many companies slow to reduce on their own, most of you think the government should step in.
We ran a poll.
Yep.
And 82% of Canadian respondents said to us they'd like to see the government take more action to reduce the use of single-use plastics. Does that surprise you?
That does not surprise me. I think there's been a real change in views about this.
So what can those people expect?
Well, I think wait till June. That's when we're coming out with our strategy with the provinces and territories.
So single-use pepper?
Single-use pepper, just thrown in the water.
Yeah.
And look at this, what do you even do with this?
This is legal pot.
All right.
Yeah, so it's wrapped in plastic, but it's it's a tiny little bit, a tiny bud in a bigger container. People wrote into us and said they find this to be a bigger issue, yeah. I look at what the EU's just done. They've banned, 10 types of single-use plastic. You've talked about trying to reduce our plastic. Why not action?
Well, we're taking a whole range of actions. So bans are good in certain cases for sure, but it's not just about banning, because I think there's a lot of focus on banning. There are in cases where you need to use plastics. So I think we need to focus more on the circular economy.
And are you serious about seeing an end to all of this?
Absolutely. I will tell you, this is something that is a top priority for us, absolutely.
The government says they'll announce their strategy in June, and we'll keep watching.